Hello my friends, welcome back to our channel. In today's video I want to talk to you about all the things that I miss from Canada the most, especially if you are someone who you are Canadian and you're thinking about moving to the UK, or you're Canadian and you are here and you just want to feel like someone else understands where you're at. So if you are new here, hello, my name is Nicole. I typically post videos on this channel about homemaking and life here in England with my husband. I am originally from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I moved to the UK about 3 years ago now, so it has been a journey. And I wanted to create this series because a lot of you guys have found me through some of my other how I moved to England, why I moved to England videos, and I thought it would be really cool to make this series, especially as some of us are a little bit homesick because we haven't been able to go home due to the pandemic. So with that, one of the first things that I miss very much about Canada is the space. I obviously know that depending on where you are and where you're living, you might not have as much space. You might not have a lot of space. It might be the same type of space that you have in England. However, I lived on the very edge of the city and there was just a lot more space. Plots of land were bigger, house spaces were bigger, unless you were living like right in the middle of a city. And I really miss just kind of having that space. And equally, even if you are in the middle of a city, there's often like parks. And there's parks here in Bristol. I just don't think that there is like the quantity of parks like there was at home. And I just miss the green space, and I miss potential property sizes that are a bit bigger. And when I say space, I mean also like even the space in a house. Like my husband's home is like a fairly normal sized home for the UK, I believe. However, for Canada, this would definitely be like a starter home. It's quite small. There's like no closet space, there's no storage space. We literally have one closet in this entire house. So I'm not saying this, I'm not like saying this to sound ungrateful in the slightest, but I think that is something that is truly not comprehensible until you move here. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, I kind of touched on it already, is like I really miss bigger homes. Paul and I are on a journey to hopefully grow our family sooner than later. And you know, it is a little bit nerve-wracking when you kind of look around and you're like, oh my goodness, like this is a decent sized home. I think Paul said that his home here is bigger than what his parents' home was, but it's just laid out differently. And we only have 2 rooms. But people here consider this a 3-bedroom house because there is a room downstairs. But if you're Canadian, you would consider this like the dining room downstairs. You definitely wouldn't consider that like another bedroom on the main floor. So I do really, really miss the space of Canadian homes. Of course, there are smaller Canadian homes, but for the most part, housing sizes are a lot bigger in Canada than they are here. So I miss it. So the next thing that I miss about Canada the most is like the driving convenience. So again, if you're driving like downtown Vancouver, downtown Toronto, you're probably gonna have traffic. You're probably not going to have the convenience of driving the way you would if you were in like a rural area. However, for the most part, I do feel like people in Canada do not have as much grief with driving as they do here in England in like the most average everyday of places. There is just way too many people here with roads that weren't built for this amount of people or the size of cars that is here. The only other time in my life that I have ever experienced small windy roads like this is when I was in the West Indies and I was in Grenada. And so it is unfathomable, I can never say that word, how traffic can be such a nightmare here. The next thing that I miss about Canada, this actually is probably the thing that I miss about Canada the most. That is the cleanliness. I said to Paul the other day, I was like, I know I've been here for a really long time now because I'm not noticing how dirty it is. And ever since I said that, I'm starting to notice the dirt again, but there's like litter everywhere. Whereas I'm not saying there's zero litter in Canada, of course there is, but it's not on the magnitude of the way that it is here in the slightest. And even if I send my dad a picture, he'll be like, look at all that gum on the ground. And I'm like, I know. And it's such a shame because it is so beautiful here, but it is friggin' filthy. So the next thing that I miss about Canada is the customer service. Quick story time. Paul and I, my husband, we went to a restaurant, and often for work, we get sent into restaurants to go and review them. And we asked the girl, I'll often ask people like, oh, what's your favorite dish here? Because I love to hear what they like and try it out myself. And the girl was like, I don't eat here. I just work here. And we were like, huh. And there's just been countless of times where we've been like floored at how we've been treated, especially when it's like your employer has invited us in here to review you. You would think that you would be on your best behavior. Not that I'm looking for special treatments in the slightest, but like I have to write about you. And so yeah, customer service here like is slim to none. But then when you do get it, it's like unreal. Like we had really good customer service somewhere recently and we were like jaws on the floor. The next thing that I miss about Canada the most is having a family doctor. I haven't gone to the doctor here yet. I know it's bad, but I'm about to register with a doctor. But I've been told is that you rarely get the same person. Back at home, I had one doctor. He knows me, he knows my family, and like he's been my family doctor since I was like 12 or 13. So that is just like foreign to me, that somebody that you talk to about like really intimate and personal things, like you see them like once. Now the last thing that I want to talk about in regards to what I miss about Canada the most is the people. Canadian people can be very friendly, very warm, very welcoming, and like, you know those memes that go around where it says like you meet a girl in the bathroom and it's like your best friends? Like I feel like that's what Canadian people can be like, and it's definitely been a little bit of a process to get connected here and find a community of people that you can do life with when people are a little bit more on the conservative side. Even with saying that, I look at most of the people that I have become friends with, one of them is English, with the exception of Paul. And I don't think you fully comprehend that until you're here. If you're watching this video and you are North American and you're living in the UK, let me know what are some of the things that you miss the most about Canada. And let me know during this pandemic, like, do you have a plan to go home soon? Because for me personally, I haven't been home in almost 2 years and I'm like itching for it. So I would love to hear if you've got like a contingency plan to like go home. I hope we can go home soon. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. I hope you have hit that subscribe button and have seen some of the other videos that we've put out in regards to moving to the UK. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye.